Step into the Ninja Academy. Master secret techniques as Naruto and become the greatest. Naruto Ninja Council.
Welcome back to Retro Rebound. In today's video, we are going back to the Hidden Leaf Village. Behold the power of the Uchiha clan and Naruto Ninja Council. This bad boy came in the mail and I just had to make a video on it because I've been so patient with Naruto games, whether it be the entire Ninja Council series, which I would like to talk about on the channel, Clash of Ninja, Ultimate Ninja Storm, especially Uzumaki Chronicles. I want to talk about both those games big time. Clash of Ninja Revolution. There are so many Naruto games I want to get into on this channel, and I was waiting for that special moment like we always do where we can sync it up with a movie or a big episode, but I just want to take my shot and talk about this game and ask the question, is it really that bad? I was looking at some of the reviews online. They called it a generic action game. It doesn't offer that much, but this game, man, if I were to add something right there next to Mega Man Battle Network on my Game Boy Advance's childhood staple, it was this game right here. So, as I was combing through those reviews and I saw they were pretty lukewarm and they only got worse as the series went on, I had to return and see if it was really that bad. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're new here and you're a fan of nostalgic, retrospective, or the Hidden Leaf Village content, consider subscribing. With that, let's dive back into the past with Naruto Ninja Council. I love OG Naruto. I could, I'm game with Shippuden, but OG Naruto is, I think, where the series is at its strongest. Like, I was addicted to this thing. This was really my first true anime. Like, I loved Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Dragon Ball growing up, but growing up, there was a stigma to anime and everyone called them cartoons, so you thought it was just that because I didn't know any better. I was a kid. I was stupid. Turns out I was watching anime, but the first one that I watched and truly embraced, like, anime was Naruto. That was to me like the barrier breaker right next to Attack on Titan. Like, those two just opened the floodgates for me big time at different stages in my life. But OG Naruto, I remember like every Saturday sitting down at I think 7 p.m. and turning on Toonami and watching the latest episode, like the Genin arc, the Chunin arc especially, is just, that is peak fiction. We use that word a lot here, but Chunin arc, Naruto, oh my goodness. Anyway, you want to see the complete box experience, and we're going to talk about the game. I could go on with Naruto, but I'm not. So this, by the way, this headband I got in 6th grade. I can't believe I still had it. I found it in my closet, but I was like, yo, I gotta throw this on for the video and the thumbnail. All right. As you can see here, it's in this plastic sleeve. It didn't get the acrylic treatment. Yeah, it's a $90 game, but I had to trade out my $45 copy of Dragon Ball Z Super Legendary Warriors, which did have this case around it, because I thought, well, $90 or $45, what do I want to protect more? And I made my decision. I also need to get more cases, but I digress. The question on the back is Naruto the best ninja? Believe it! Break through the survival challenges and continue your journey as Naruto or Sasuke. Will the unpredictable Naruto lead you to victory, or will it be the steady Sasuke? Includes all of your favorite special moves like Shadow Clone Jutsu and Fireball Jutsu. Knock out tough opponents and unforgettable rivals in this side-scrolling ninja action game. And you see a couple of screenshots here with Naruto gameplay doing the nine-tailed fox chakra move, as well as Fireball Jutsu. Now, what I love is this game is rated E10+, and I think that's because of the sexy jutsu. Anyway, hey, speaking of Naruto hand signs, I actually, in 6th or 7th grade, I know 7th grade, you're like really pushing the cringe boundaries now, but I remember going online and looking up how to do Sasuke's Fireball Jutsu, and I had it memorized. I used to just bang this thing out. I still remember parts of it, but I don't remember the whole thing, like where you kind of did a bunch of hand signs, but I thought that was the freshest thing ever. I still do. Anyway, I'm making a fool of myself more and more as this video goes on. I'm not really talking about the game, so let's keep going. All right. Cracking open the complete box experience here. It arrives with what you believe it would arrive with. The condition of this box here is really good too, which I was pretty happy with. I paid a little extra for it, 95 bucks, but I'm big on corners. You can see some creases on the box if you look close enough, but that's fine with me. The corners are what I care more about because that's where you really see the wear and tear. But yeah, the cartridge here, flames. No need for a graphic if you got the Fireball Jutsu, I guess. As you can see here, the copy of Nintendo Power that came with it is promoting Pokemon Coliseum, opening it up. you see more of that. And yeah, we talked about that recently. So go ahead, check it out. We'll be here when you get back. All right. Otherwise, we have the manual here. And I love the setup for this story because it is kind of hilarious. And there's a couple of funny things in this manual that I'd like to point out. So the first thing is the story here. It says, this year, Naruto and Sasuke have been chosen for the survival challenge held annually at the hidden village in the leaves. Naruto and Sasuke will have to challenge 7 stages, all divided into different themes, and try and get to the exit where the Lord Hokage awaits. At each stage, Village Ninja will do whatever it takes to hinder their path. Can Naruto and Sasuke overcome this test and conquer the survival challenge? Now, remember their 7 stages. That is going to be hilarious in a moment here. Now, flipping through, you'll see this pleases me greatly. Nice, colorful manual, and honestly, the Game Boy Advance manuals really never miss. I don't think I've opened a manual that I went, yeah, this is a dud, but you can see here you can run by double tapping right on the D-pad, crouch, crawling, because you're going to go underneath objects. You can run up cliffs in this game, which I like because that was like a whole episode. And I remember there was a whole mini game in Ultimate Ninja Storm 1 about running up trees, the biggest trees of all time, might I add. Combos, ninjutsu, special moves, where there's another funny thing about this game that I love in the first boss fight if you're playing as Naruto. Stage mode, which is your general moving around the area, jumping, collecting, fighting, and then there are bosses in this game, plenty of them. Ninja tools that you're going to find. There's the Shuriken, which is more like horizontal weak damage. Kunai, which will break through the basic ninja tools and defend yourself if you use them at the right time. And then there's also Senbon, which does minimal damage, but it goes in 2 areas, so you can attack like aerial enemies really easy there. There's different types of ninjutsu that you can find, which let you explore the levels. So you can like go underground or go through walls, burn down trees, all that stuff. They have Sakura here. I find it interesting that she was never a 3rd playable character, even when you unlock the 3rd playable character in this game. She's just here to support, which, I mean, I get it. Like, at this point, I guess she wasn't I don't think many people like her character even now, but like, even then, people definitely abhorred her, and it was more like, oh, you know, we like Naruto and Sasuke more and their whole relationship, and she's just kind of there to support and be the good friend. But she's a hidden support character alongside Hinata, Iruka, Anko, Kurenai, Asuma, and Gai Sensei, and they'll all give you different buffs, restoring your health or giving you extra lives. You can see here, this is one of the funny things here. So these are breakdowns of both their movesets, and it's in very small text here, but there's a fail state for each jutsu that you'll cast, I guess, and then there's a success state. And so it'll say here for the Uzumaki Barrage, if you pass, it'll do the Naruto Uzumaki Barrage, but if you fail, Naruto rips some ass. It says fart right here. It's like, okay, I guess so. But meanwhile, with everything with Sasuke is like, with Sharingan, 1.5 times power, Phoenix Flower Jutsu. You know, just like his fails are still damage, but Naruto's is like, oh, he failed. He's going to poop himself. Okay. And then you see Kakashi here, gives you advice. The game pretty much spoils itself here with like every boss in the game possible. And then perhaps most fascinating is this, which I thought was hilarious. So you're going to see stages 1, 2, 3, 4, and then stages 5 and 6. Remember I said 7 earlier. It says the game continues. There are still many more stages that were not introduced here. Okay. The game has only begun. We just spoiled every boss and every single stage in the game. Go figure. And that's it. But you can see on the back here, promotions for the manga Volume 1. Volume 9 was available at this point in time if you want to track where the show was at the time of releasing this. Or I'm sorry, the manga was at the time of releasing this. But yeah, awesome complete in-box copy. I just really wanted to take a deep dive on that one. And now we can talk fully about this game, which I have a lot to say. I want to start off with how I found this game. I just always think that's a fun story to lead into the experience, because then I go on this trail of thought of like, okay, what did I notice next in my first ever playthrough as a kid? I remember I was in Circuit City. Circuit City was the place I discovered so many awesome games from my childhood. That's where I found KOTOR, Knights of the Old Republic, which is my favorite game of all time. And it's where I found this game as well. I remember we were in the electronics section, and my dad and I always had a nice deal ongoing. So when I'd go out with him on Saturdays and we'd go do errands and whatnot, he would always treat me. He'd say, hey, if you make it through all this and you help me out, Matt, I'll get you a game at the end of the day. And this wasn't always a thing every single weekend or anything like that. We didn't have a lot of money. So when we did do it, it was special bonding time, but it was also like, it was just really nice. Like, it's some of my fondest memories. So he'd say, you know, go ahead, pick out whatever one you want. So I went out, I went on all these errands with him, and they'd always save the game store for last, right? Like the reward, the carrot at the end of the stick. And even though I was there knowing that reward was waiting for me, I'd always be like, man, I just, come on, can't we go? And finally we get to Circuit City, and I was on a Naruto kick. Of course I was, and I immediately picked this one out without hesitation. So Ninja Council in my hand. As always, I was traveling with my Game Boy Advance SP because I adored this game. I don't remember if I got this game exactly at launch because, again, I had the SP, which I know came a little bit later in the Advance, and this game came out in 2002. So my brain doesn't remember right now the exact dates of everything, but I digress. Fired it up, and I love Seaside Bridge. This is the first stage in the game, and I think it's because of the track that it's just good vibes. And normally, like when I was playing side scrollers growing up, they were particularly grueling or menacing. You know, I remember Spider-Man 2 on my Game Boy Color. That one was really difficult. Oh my God, that game was so hard. I remember also Mega Man. I mean, I loved Mega Man growing up. You already know that. So of course, like firing up this game, hearing some good vibes, I was like, okay, like, this is kind of happy-go-lucky. And I of course played Sasuke first. Sasuke is my guy. He is one of my favorite anime characters of all time. And I always love the behold the power of the Uchiha clan. Like they have it in every game. Like when you select him as a character in Clash of Ninja or in Ultimate Ninja Storm, like that's his go-to line, right? And so they had it here, but it's in this heavily compressed audio. But yeah, that first stage just felt good. And I love Ninja Council because of the exploration the stage has had. I don't know if I'm the only one who thinks this, but to me, Ninja Council as a series is in that rare group of games where it starts as the apex and really just goes downhill. Because I remember they tried to turn it into like a fighting game, I think with Ninja Council 3 or 4. 2 really was more on the combat and not on the exploration. Like, I really want to go through this series because I just have thoughts, man. I got thoughts and feelings from childhood disappointment. I got to get out. But with Ninja Council 1, I was like, oh, this is peak. And like, if it's going to get better from here, I'm in for a treat. Because, yeah, like the exploration was good enough, at least for me as a young kid. And I still think to this day, it's really not that bad. Like, you're going to go around, you're going to find ninja tools, you're going to find ninjutsu scrolls that you're going to use to explore the level, whether it be digging underground or knocking down a wall. But most importantly, for the best unlockable of all time, you're going to find these leaf symbols. Now, there are 100 of these leaf symbols, and imagine me as a kid, right? You beat the game once, you beat it twice, so you do it with both characters. You unlock Kakashi Hatake. You're like, yo, this is amazing. I don't know why Sakura wasn't a third character, but whatever. We're going to take everyone but her at this point, but this is sick. I get to play as Kakashi. What is going to happen when I get all 100 leaf symbols? So I go on a grind, no guides. I remember this as a kid so well. All grind. I get them all on my own. And the unlockable is a sound test. Let me say it one more time. A sound test. Imagine my soul crushing into dust in that very moment of... It wasn't like a long game. This is an extremely short game. Like, you can beat it all in one sitting. Naruto's playthrough, Sasuke's playthrough, Kakashi's playthrough. It's all easy. So I'm trying to get my money, my dad's money's worth, not my own. And I'm thinking like, okay, let's get all 100 leaf symbols. And dude, when I unlocked the sound test, I'm like, what is this? Are you kidding me? Because there are so many other cool unlockables. Like, again, you unlock Kakashi when you beat the game with Naruto and Sasuke. It's like, okay, I'm going in for a third time because the fun was using their jutsus and taking down bosses with ease. Because the combat in this game is really simple to cheese. But you're thinking when you go the extra mile, like maybe Kakashi would be behind that. But instead they put him behind beating the game, which is cool. So you're like, what's the peak moment beyond all that? That's the grind. And it's just a sound test option. I don't know. But I said the combat's easy to cheese. When I was a kid, I didn't realize this. As a young adult now, age 27, my God, it was really obvious because these enemies would be stun locked so easily. So I just zip back and forth and I just memorized their patterns and just clobber them all over the stage. But I love it anyway because there were little gimmicks. For example, if you were playing as Naruto and when you're fighting Konohamaru and Abisu and you use the sexy jutsu, turns out that's a one-shot kill on Abisu because he's the one that you're going to beat up because they don't want you to beat up Konohamaru. Like, course, it's like a little kid, that'd be kind of messed up, right? But when you use the sexy jutsu, it's a one-hit kill, and I just thought that was a cool level of detail, a slight nod there, where Naruto had an advantage that Sasuke didn't. It was a quick way to one-hit a boss, because it is old school in that way. There's a timer that's going to count down all mission long, which I didn't like for a game that has an exploration focus, but it does give it some tension. So the quicker you finish, the better your score is at the end of the game, which is awesome. So it motivates you to exploit these things to the best of your abilities, but it's very simple. I think that, one thing that really was annoying going back to this was the jutsu spam from certain enemies. I'm talking about you, Shikamaru, Nara. Oh, Shadow Possession Jutsu up the wazoo, my friend. You got to cut that out, because it was like every 2 steps, just he just kept doing it over and over. I was like, Shikamaru, come on, bro, cut it out. But you learn the patterns, you learn how to dodge it. It's just like, don't you run out of chakra, dude? Like, you gotta chill, man. But still, such a great trip down memory lane. The music in this game, I don't know if I'd call it good. I would just say that it evokes a lot of memories, and for me, that's awesome. It was a good feeling going back to it, but the combat's easy. It's cheesable for sure, but there's something kind of elite about this game, where it's the elite type of game that you wouldn't really generally recommend to anyone, because there's so many other better games out there, and it's a really simple 2D action side scroller regardless of all of that, where it's not like you must go out and play this like I would say about some of the other older games I've played here, but it's a special game no less. And I think it's because, again, it represents that really innocent period in Naruto before I feel like it was really polluted by extremely long conversations. I know there were always long conversations, but extremely long conversations and kind of a lot of time wasting and filler. It just felt balls to the wall. Like, every episode was a real trip. Again, I'm thinking about the Genin arc, and specifically the Chunin arc, and the curse mark with Sasuke, and of course the fight in the Hidden Valley between Naruto and Sasuke. Like, oh man, they remade that scene for Naruto's 20th anniversary, and I remember that like gut punch and then up kick. I forgot who landed it. It was either Naruto or Sasuke, but oh man, like watching that scene again just gave me the chills. So this game really represents like a connection to that era for myself, and I imagine many others out there. But going back, it was a ton of fun. There's no deep story here. It's a really short game. The manual kind of spoils itself, and each stage has 2 sides of the same coin pretty much. You just run through the stage once, you fight a boss, you run through the same stage again, but it's different layout, a little bit different, and you fight a boss again, and repeat that 7 times, and you're done. It's a pretty simple game, though. Each playthrough takes an hour or so, and that's it. But it's a special kind of that's it. I promise you that. However, what's funny is I'm saying all of this, and I represent this as the apex, and I just feel like it goes downhill from there. But I haven't played Ninja Council 2 through 4 in so long. Like, Ninja Council 1 is ingrained in my head, but 2 through 4, I don't really remember at all. So provided this video does well, there's so much we're going to explore, but definitely Ninja Council first. So let me know what you think of this series in the comments down below, and I'll don the Hidden Leaf headband, and we'll talk more Naruto. But until then, take great care of yourselves. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next Retro Rebound. Peace out.